Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Pedro Porro to Tottenham Hotspur. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the signing of Pedro Porro, the Sporting Lisbon right back, to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. And what a bloody signing this is. What a fantastic and ambitious signing this is from Tottenham Hotspur. For the first time, I think, in my lifetime, Spurs have acquired a target in the January transfer window. A player that Spurs fans, have been talking about and that the club have been linked with for months and months. Since about October, we've been hearing that Spurs are after Pedro Porro. And I've seen it all before. Spurs after Traore last January, and we don't get him. Spurs after Skriniar, and we don't get him. Most of the time when Spurs acquire a main target, we don't get him because of Levy's stubbornness on the deal and not willing to pay an extra few million. You saw Jose come out yesterday and say Levy wasn't willing to pay an extra 5 million to sign Kim Min-jae, And as soon as we were linked with this guy, I thought he'd be great at Spurs. It's a fantastic signing. If we get him, he'll really, really improve the team. But will we? Will we, knowing Daniel Levy and his stubbornness? And we've acted really, really well. Now, this signing obviously doesn't excuse Daniel Levy completely. Daniel Levy, in my opinion, still hasn't done a good enough job at Spurs, still has been ridiculously stubborn for no reason, and still has costed this club, hence the fact we've got one Carabao Cup in his tenure. But I think you've got to give him some credit. He was stubborn with this deal, he was stubborn with the price tag, and we've got it over the line. We have got it over the line. I think we played the release clause for Pedro Porro, which is 45 million, and we don't see Spurs do that a lot. And I really am glad to see it. It's an ambitious signing. And what a player he is. A lot of opposition fans don't know too much about him. And I think a lot of Spurs fans do. Because we've been linked with him for so long. We've been looking at highlights and things on YouTube. But in general, having watched this guy in the Champions League at the top level, in cup finals, in Portugal, he really does look a quality player. I watched him yesterday. And although Sporting Lisbon did lose, he looked so good, and he's so good in that right wing-back role. When you look at Antonio Conte's systems, I'd say the wing-backs are the two most crucial positions in the way that he plays. Antonio Conte's quick build-up and, counter-press. The wing-backs are absolutely crucial, and that's how Conte plays. Get it wide to cross it in. That's how he done it at Inter. That's how he done it at Chelsea, Victor Moses was arguably Conte's most important player in that season when they won the title. And Pedro Porro could be Spurs' most important player this season and next season because he's so good down that right-hand side. You look at the difference between Doherty and Kulusevski, Royal and Kulusevski. Now you've got Porro and Kulusevski and Son and Perisic. Those are two quality wing areas, Pedro Porro, what does he lack? Let's talk about his slight weaknesses early on. Defensively, he's not amazing. He does a decent enough job and he's strong in the tackle, but his man marking isn't the best. But that's more than made up for going forward. And I think in Conte's system, if it was a back four, his defending has to be good. But a back five, it's all about going forward as a right wing back. And he does that so well. Watching him yesterday, he constantly, beats the first man with a cross, which will seem like a godsend if you're a Spurs fan at the minute, having watched Royal. All season long, he constantly beats the first man with his crosses. His crosses are pacey. And he's got so much pace and flair and passion and strength down that right-hand side. Always beats his man. And what I've seen a lot is he always beats his man darting and then always goes for the pullback cross. And that is exactly what Tottenham Hotspur need. Exactly what Spurs need. The amount of times this season we've seen Royal on the edge of the box or Sessegnon on the edge of the box and just not willing to cross it for no reason. All this guy does is cross the bloody ball into the box. He's so good at it. I think he's going to be a crucial signing for us. I think 45 million is huge. And I think some people might say we're overpaying. I think it's slightly a steal for what could be a season-changing and defining signing, He's been so good at Sporting. And those two times I watched him, when they beat us and drew with us at home, he was arguably their best player, constantly putting in crosses, and he looked so good. But that's the first time, as I say, in a long time that Spurs have acquired a target and signed him and brought him in and got the business done. And it wraps up what's been a very solid week for Spurs. Will there be any other transfers? I'm hearing we're slightly linked with Hincapié. I doubt that. But look, Danjuma and Porro, I think those are two very, very good January transfer signings. And look, what you've got to give credit to Paratici for is, I think his summer transfer windows could have been a lot better. But both his January transfer windows have been very solid, and he's went into the market perfectly. Last January, Kulusevski and Bentancur got us top 4. This January, will Pedro, Porro and will Danjuma get us top 4? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for watching this video. Take care of yourselves. All the best. God bless. Have a smashing rest of your weekend. And as always, up the Spurs. In Conte we trust. Enoch and Levy out.